Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Pages to Pixels podcast. I'm Keertana. This is Rohan and I have Kevin here with me. This week we are going to talk about this year's Oscar nominations. Um, what did you guys think? I mean, they've been out for a while now. What were your general opinions to start off with?
Well, yeah, it looks like I got here a bit early, so unfortunately, I might have to wait a little bit longer. But I thought when I saw the initial nominations, um, I felt like I had been following the season enough to the point where I predicted most of the films in this category.
Mhm.
Um, there was only one exception, which it's hard to even talk about because I haven't even seen the movie. Um, but I think for the most part, it was a pretty predictable year in terms of Best Picture.
Mhm.
Yeah, predictable is probably the right word to put it. And I was thinking, why don't we just jump in to Best Picture and we can talk about it? Um, yeah, and for the audience, the way that we're gonna do this is we're gonna talk about each movie in Best Picture, just a little bit about it, what we think, maybe discuss some of the other nominations, and then we'll do a small prediction. And then because we're writers, we'll go on to the adapted screenplay and original screenplay, and then we're just kind of talk about general takeaways from there. We're not doing a deep dive into all the categories, just because that would take forever. All
Yeah.
right. So I'm looking at the best picture on the Oscars official website,
Mhm.
and the first one they have listed is Begonia, uh, which this is one of my favorite movies of the year. I know, Kevin, you also had in your top 10.
Mhm.
It's nominated for a bunch of other stuff also, I believe. I think Emma Stone is nominated for Best Actress. It's nominated for Screenplay, nominated for Best Actor, correct? Jessica Clemens. Uh,
He did not get the
I-
nomination.
no, he didn't? Oh, I thought he did. Because I know he got
No.
nominated for the BAFTA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's probably why I confused it. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean,
Um,
Begonia, I'm really happy this movie got a nomination. I'm gonna let you two talk about it as well.
Yeah, I watched it. So when we did our top 10 video, like it hadn't released here in India yet. They did like I think very limited screenings here in my city over the weekend, and I finally got to catch it. I was really happy I saw it.
Hmm.
Um, I it was okay, I'm gonna say this. The body horror was a bit much for me, just slightly. Just the blood and the gore was it was I had my eyes shut for most of those parts. But other than that, I thought it was a really fun watch. I will say that the one thing that really stood out to me was how she was written as a character, like how Emma Stone's character was written. Because I think very often what we see in like kidnap, what like survival movies is it's always damsel in distress, and the only way they choose to fight is physically. Like it's a lot of like screaming and kick, like visually too, right? It's a lot of just like screaming and kicking and like just trying to physically separate themselves from the situation. there was there was almost none of that in this, and that was really refreshing. Like it was great to finally see a smart woman uh you know um try and
Mhm.
escape the situation. Like I was very happy when she tried to manipulate them. I thought that felt realistic. So no, I quite enjoyed the film. I did think that the ending was predictable though.
I like when people get blown to pieces. I think that I think that the movie was great and it was very deserving of its nomination. I actually thought that I don't know, I think every year you would think that Yorgos Lanthimos would not get in for being too weird, and like I do think Kinds of Kindness didn't really get there because there's probably a little bit more audience disconnect there. But it's really cool that Begonia seemed to resonate with a lot of the voters. I feel
Yeah.
like it was a solid nomination.
Yeah.
I feel like he is. I feel like his movies are weird, but they're not so. absurd. There's something that grounds them that the voting body
Yeah.
will appreciate. And I think Kinds of Kindness, it's Yorgos going full Yorgos, which I think didn't have that grounding factor, and that's why it didn't get a lot of the. It didn't get in last year. That was last year, right? Or was it 2 years ago?
It was 2 years.
last year.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
because 2 years ago was Poor Things. Right? 2023 was Poor Things. Anyway, no,
Yeah.
what I was trying to say was, I also think that the reason his films work, despite the fact that they're definitely offbeat, is because I don't think he writes them to be offbeat just for the sake of it. Like, I think you can tell when somebody goes in with that intent. And I think it's almost always like weirdly story first, like the story he's trying to tell, or like what he's trying to get across demands that he write, or like
Yeah.
that he set it up in the ways that he does. So I think that's what like helps with the whole grounding factor, where like you're not going into it because it's a gimmick, right?
Yeah. I also think minus the ending, Begonia is probably his like a very normal movie.
Yeah. True, very true. I thought that the performances were really, really strong.
Mhm.
I thought Emma Stone was great, although she's been in some controversy recently. I think it was at the BAFTAs that she wore a necklace that was basically stolen from India, by the
Oh,
British.
really?
Yeah. So it belonged to Mumtaz, like Shah Jahan's wife, and it was stolen. And I suppose it was bought and sold by people who never had any claim to it in the first place. And eventually, I think it ended up in Cartier's reserve, and she wore it from there. And then when somebody was talking to her at the red carpet, she was like, "Oh, you know the lady that's buried in the Taj Mahal? It belonged to her at some point." And people were like, "If you're going to wear like I don't know, like something of that much significance, like take a minute to learn the name. Like it's not, it's already bad. It's already bad enough that you're wearing it, and then like yeah. So that she's been in a bit of like heavy controversy because of that.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
Um,
that was not the most controversial thing at BAFTAs this year. We don't need to get into all that though. I think if we're done with Begonia, we can move on to the next award
yeah.
or the next movie. So the next one listed is F1, um, which I would say I think this was, I guess, the biggest surprise, because I mean, I guess it wasn't a surprise when you look at the other awards, but I guess it was a surprise in the sense that I didn't think that this was gonna have very many nominations and other award circuits either. Um, but I feel like, there's always one kind of big blockbuster crowd pleaser that gets in. Last year was Wicked. And this year F1 kind of replaced what everyone expected for, Wicked for Good to do. Um, have either of you seen this movie?
I haven't watched F1,
No.
but I will tell you that I have consistently, from everybody that's watched it, they've told me it's a must watch. Everyone, like out here, everybody was very, very impressed with it. All my friends who watched it, like, can't seem to say enough nice things about it. So I wasn't totally surprised when I saw the nomination, but again, like it's coming from very little context, so you probably have like a better understanding of why it's a surprise.
I mean, it's just a surprise because it's not like an Oscar type movie, but I guess when you think about it, hey, there's always going to be one crowd pleaser. Um,
Mhm.
I guess this does make sense.
Yeah.
I rarely do this, but I'm disagreeing with you, Rohan.
Oh,
I
really?
think F1 is very much an Oscar movie because it's one of those ones where it's based on like a property, and like that is getting like really big. I think in the Oscars is like any kind of like brand name. I think is starting to blow up, and plus it's a Jerry Bruckheimer
Jerry. Mhm.
production. He is always
Oh,
like
yeah,
in the
yeah.
conversation. And plus, I think Plan B was in it, so it's got Brad Pitt.
Mhm.
I was surprised by this nomination because that's what I was alluding to is one of the movies that I hadn't seen that got in, and I was like, how did that get in? But when you see what number 11 was, which I might as well just spoil it. I think a lot of people are saying that it was just an accident, was the number 11. I think maybe the international films category may have gotten a little bit overcrowded in Best Picture, and like maybe they were like, oh, well, let's pick F1 because they've got a really good, production team, and F1 as a brand is like so recognizable. So that's why I think it kind of slid in there, even if it's like it does feel a little Oscar baity, but not like the worst kind of Oscar bait, not like the boring
Right.
kind.
Yeah, that I mean it's very possible. It's also one of the more watched movies, and we think about it, it's like, the Academy's like thousands of people voting. They're more likely gonna vote for something that they've seen. So I guess it does make sense that F1 got in there. But I did watch this movie. I liked it quite a bit. I wasn't amazed by it. It was a lot of fun, and uh, Brad Pitt is just kind of aura farming in the entire movie. That is literally the only thing he's doing. The entire movie is just there's so many like just shots of him looking cool and just like having a cocky grin on his face and just walking, and then of course he's driving. Uh,
Yeah.
and the racing sequences are pretty incredible. I'm not gonna deny that the music is awesome.
Mhm.
I think other than that, it didn't really stand out. It did its job though, because going into it, I was like, hey, show me some really cool races filmed in a unique way that isn't just that doesn't rely on like green screen and all that. And that's what this movie did. So it accomplished its goal, and I enjoyed it for that fact. It didn't really stand out to me in any other way. It wasn't this transcendent experience.
Yeah. I did hear from all my friends who watched it that they were very impressed with how the race sequences were done, which I suppose
Oh yeah.
is a basic expectation to have when you're going into a movie about F1.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was also very interesting because you need um it's very hard to get a driver for an F1 car because the amount of, and I'm not, by no means am I an F1 expert. This is just something that I've heard from my friends. But during the turns, when you're going at high speeds with like that amount of, I believe torque is the term, when you turn, it can actually snap your neck. Um, yeah. So if you watch the movie, there are scenes where uh Brad Pitt, he's just doing neck exercises. And if you look at actual F1 drivers, they got huge necks because they have to really strengthen them. So even finding a stunt driver for F1 cars is interesting. So I like the way that they filmed it. They got non-F1 cars and they modified them to look like F1 cars. And then oftentimes what they actually did was Apple would just go to the F1 races and film an actual F1 race, and they would splice that footage into the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you're Apple, you have the money to just do that for like on like B-roll footage. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I didn't think of the neck thing at all. I never considered the physical dangers of being like an F1 racer. That's so interesting. Yeah.
I mean, well, there's the car crashes as well.
Yeah. So that part, yeah. Like, I mean, I guess the obvious that makes sense, but I just didn't think like I never thought about them having to work out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But it's so interesting. So much to learn every time.
Hmm. Since I think that this will probably be the only time we bring it up, I'm pretty sure that this movie is at least a lock for the sound nominee.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't seen it, it's just like cars
Yeah.
blaring throughout. That's probably going to be most
Yeah.
of the things there.
Oh yeah,
So
I
yeah.
agree. Sound. I think sound is really the only chance this movie has. Maybe
Mhm.
score, but I don't think that's either. I'm not even sure if it's nominated for score, if I'm being honest. But sound, I think,
Um,
has a good chance.
it is not in score.
Okay,
So
yeah, then there's no chance, of course.
Diane Warren should have written a song for F1, and then maybe she would be getting her win this year.
All right. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. The next movie is Frankenstein.
Yep.
Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I think this is, yeah, Netflix always gets a movie. This is the Netflix movie this year. I really like this movie. I know that I kind of liked it more than you two. It is a very standard adaptation of Frankenstein. But I think it was just very well made.
Yeah, I don't get the best picture now. I mean, I enjoyed the movie, but it was not like it was not it's like it's how you described F1. It was not like an incredible experience for me where I was like, oh my God, this film moved. I also didn't think, I mean, technically it was great, but I don't know if it stood out like it was a good movie, I think, objectively, but in comparison with some of the other films in this category, like I was a little surprised to see Frankenstein in Best Picture. Like I assumed it would do costume,
Mhm.
I assumed it would do like makeup, all of that, but I didn't expect to see it here.
Sorry,
Oh, good.
something happened. Wait a minute.
Okay.
He disagreed with me so much, he just left. Okay.
You know. I guess I'll say my piece while we wait for Kevin. I'm not too surprised with the nomination. For one, it's Guillermo del Toro, and everyone loves Guillermo del Toro. Um, and for me, the reason why I would nominate this movie is because I found it very immersive. Um, like just watching this movie, there was it's a movie about like this monster, but there's the way that Del Toro like films his movies and the way that the pacing, there's almost like it almost like puts you into like a trance while watching it. At least that's how I felt, and I think that's one of the things that the immersiveness of it is probably why it got this nomination.
Hmm. Yeah, sorry. I think my door like randomly like opened, and I was like, "How did that happen? Am I being haunted?" Um, no. I'm actually super happy that Frankenstein got the nomination. I like that Guillermo del Toro, and his craft and his production team. They're just so passionate about what they do. That doesn't always translate to the best written movie, and I can understand that. But I just think like kind of like when it got the win for um his animated picture
Mhm.
Pinocchio, I was like that isn't my favorite movie there because I don't love the story, but it's a lot more unique like that could win the Oscar than like the same like seeing another Pixar movie win, for example. Like
Yeah,
that's like a lot more satisfying. Um I think that it probably has the best chances in the categories that are like more production related,
I agree.
hair and makeup and stuff, because
Mhm.
all of that is impressive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and do we think I gotta see if he got the nomination. Um,
That's
but
the
do we think Jacob Elordi has a
oh,
chance in Best Supporting Actor?
I'm gonna see the other nominees and then
So I originally didn't think he would, but he got some of the other awards. Granted, it's not really the ones that intersect much with um,
yeah.
the Academy voters, but he got Critics' Choice, which I was shocked by.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't think so. Mostly because I see Sean Penn there, and I think Sean Penn should get it.
I think Sean Penn will get it, but I think Elordi he's a dark horse where before I would have said no shot.
Yeah, yeah. I also, when we watched this movie, I didn't realize it was him for the longest time. I think we talked about this in that episode.
I mean,
Um,
how would you, right?
I know it's just, well, I was just so sure that it was that other guy from Veep. And I was like, wow, this guy's got range. And then later I
Jonah?
found out it was not even him. Yeah, exactly. And I was
Good.
like, It was not even, yeah. So I don't know. I thought the performance was really good, but looking at the other people in the category, I don't think there's like a fair shot here. At least, like if it was me, I would vote for Sean Penn. Is what I'm trying to say.
Me too.
I think Stellan Skarsgård has like a dark horse chance of winning.
Yeah,
Um,
I think he's been getting some stuff also. It's that's gonna be an interesting category, especially because I feel like traditionally supporting actor is always easy to predict.
Yeah.
yeah, those are the supporting roles like every year. It's like, oh well, it's time we're gonna give it to this person.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So right now, um, I'm looking at the betting odds, and oh wow, this is all over the place. At least the way it's listed out is, but Sean Penn is the favorite, with Stellan Skarsgård ranking number 2.
Mhm.
Number 3 is actually Benicio del Toro, uh, and Elordi is 4.
Interesting.
But
Um,
the gap between Benicio and Elordi is like very slim.
hmm. That's interesting. I mean, I did like Vinicius' performance, but I mean, I don't know. I think I would have to think about it. Huh. I guess we'll talk about it when we talk about uh, One Battle After Another.
Mhm.
Is that the next
mhm.
one on the list?
Uh,
No.
no, it is Hamnet actually.
Right.
Okay. So, Kevin, I know you've seen Hamnet.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah, so ever since the top 10 video, I was trying to catch up on some movies. I ended up seeing Hamnet and I didn't really like it. Unfortunately, I thought it was kind of like it was so sad to a degree that I just started to feel bad. I was like, I don't really enjoy this plot that much. I also didn't. I know that the movie is praised a lot for what it looked for how it looks. I, I was kind of disappointed because when I hear that something's like in this like medieval um like setting almost, it's like Shakespearean times, but you're not really supposed to I mean it's William Shakespeare, but they don't
Yeah.
really tell you until the end. Um I really liked the ending. That was the best part of the movie. And I think that's where Hamnet's probably biggest strength is right now, which is in its performances and all that comes together in that last uh scene, which is like I think 40 minutes long. It's like crazy long. It's really good.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, yeah, I kind of agree. This movie reminded me a little bit of Bohemian Rhapsody in that sense. Uh, I know it's a weird comparison, but hear me out. Uh, Basically, I think both of those movies they're fine, and then but they have really, really strong endings, and that's what everyone kind of remembers when they talk about those movies. Bohemian Rhapsody with the Live Aid performance, and Hamnet with the Hamlet performance. But I agree.
mhm,
Up until then, I didn't think it was anything special. Um, yeah, I there was one more thing that I wanted to say about this movie, but I can't quite remember. But yeah, just gonna go ahead.
I haven't watched Hamnet, but it's interesting that you talked about how like there's films with like great endings that stick with you. I had a writer friend who would say that it doesn't matter like how great your plot is or how much time you spend on your characters if your scene work isn't excellent, because all of it can kind of fall flat. Because when somebody walks out of the movie theater, they're not thinking about what an emotional roller coaster I went on. They're thinking about, oh, that one scene stuck out to me, like that one dialogue stuck out to me. So I mean, I suppose it is universal.
Mhm.
I'm aware of what Hamnet is about. I'm also aware of the general tone of the film. I didn't feel very compelled to go check it out.
Mhm.
It also didn't release here, so maybe when it does, I'll take a look. We'll see.
Right.
Um, but yeah,
Mhm.
um,
Oh, I
interesting.
remembered what I was
Yeah.
saying. Sorry.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I remember what I was gonna say. I think one of my other things with this movie is it's about like, Hamlet and Hamnet are the same. So he named, I guess, spoiler alert, William Shakespeare names the character Hamlet after his dead son, Hamnet. But I just feel like there was nothing in this movie that paralleled what was actually in the play Hamlet. So I think you get the movie's supposed to be like, oh my God, he dedicated this play to his son. But I didn't really feel that way.
It's interesting. I guess in the marketing material, is that what they insinuated?
That's kind of how it felt. Like it felt like
Mhm.
misleading almost. Like I know that it's based on a book. So probably well, followed the book closely because I think she was also involved in the production of it.
Right.
Or maybe it was a play, not a book. But I think that is one of my biggest problems too is that like whenever they have like the smallest connection to Hamlet and Hamnet, they emphasize it, but like that's the only thing, and then nothing else seems very clearly like close to the story that we were watching throughout the entire movie.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah,
So with
it is a book, Kevin, and it's a fictional
okay,
book. So
yeah.
it's not even actually based off of
you
Well,
can't
yeah, of
real
course,
Shakespeare.
twice
because
that the book is
because
fiction.
Agnes is not Anne Hathaway, who William Shakespeare actually
That's
married.
right. Yep.
But it's
Yeah. I
Jessie
mean,
Buckley,
I've seen,
right?
Nope,
I have
she's
seen.
Agnes.
No, I've seen all the conspiracy theory videos about how she's just like this, like her and her husband are like William Shakespeare and his wife, like reborn. Um, but also, should I was gonna say something and then I completely lost my train. Oh, I was
Well,
going to talk about like marketing. When it comes to marketing films, I feel like sometimes I like in the last year, I've seen a couple of films kind of lose out on like kind of disappoint their audience because their marketing was like they marketed something else. Like they didn't market the film that they made. Like a film here, it came out, it was called Bad Girl, and they marketed it as if it was this like extremely rebellious girl, and it was like a coming of age film that was, super outside like social norms and stuff like that. But the film itself was just a really sweet coming of age story. Like there was very little rebellion involved, and I think people were like, well, if you're gonna call it Bad Girl, it's got to be like more that.
Right.
If they'd called it something else, maybe it would have worked better. And I think when the Joker movie came out as well, or when I think when the first Joker came out, like there was that debate, right? Like it's a great movie, but it doesn't feel like a Joker movie. Um,
Was
so
there? I did not
or
hear
was
that,
it the
honestly.
second one? No, it was either the first one or the second one where people were saying that
Oh yeah.
it doesn't
Second
feel
one's
like
bad.
it. No, I guess I'm trying to talk about like the fact that it was called Joker. I do remember, I can't remember if the conversation was around the first or the second film, but there was definitely conversation about like people saying, like people were basically like, if they just hadn't called it Joker, I would have enjoyed it as a movie on its own. But I don't like how it feels like it's supposed to fit into this world because the character doesn't feel like, I guess, the comic version of it.
are you more actually trying to say if people thought that it was a Batman movie? Because I think I would understand that more.
Yeah.
Because like I went into thinking Joker was like more Batman universe centered Joker, and it feels like a different
Yeah,
thing. I think that's what you mean, right?
that is what I was trying to say. Well,
Okay.
basically, it's like because what I'm understanding from like Hamnet is you guys went in with the expectation that he made like the film is going to be about him writing this play as like an ode to his son or something like that. And that's not what it ended up being, and therefore it was disappointing.
Oh
So
no.
the question, okay.
Sorry. I think I may have or not communicated properly. I I I basically got the movie that I expected, but I think
Okay.
the movie
Mm-hmm.
basically tells you Shakespeare wrote Hamlet
Mm-hmm.
uh as a note to his son Hamnet. But I just didn't it just
Mm-hmm.
didn't feel like that because
Got
if
it.
you know Hamlet, there's there's no parallels to what we saw
Mhm.
in the movie.
Got it.
Yeah.
So this is more like a narrative problem almost.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, I think the thing that I got from it, and I guess mini episode on Hamnet, I think the thing that I got from it was less that it was about the direct connection to Hamlet, and more that, and this is my theory, take it or leave it, it's that he propped Hamlet up as a hero, which is something that their son wanted to do. And even though Hamlet is a bit of a tragic hero,
Mhm.
it was more about how it would make Agnes feel if she were to see it. Or it's like, I guess, how would his son feel if he were to see it, like, quote unquote, even though he's dead, you know. So that would be kind of what I think his ode to him was, and why Agnes thought it was so beautiful.
Mhm.
Got it. All right.
All right.
Yeah, we should just go on to the next one.
All right. Any final thoughts on Hamnet? Oh, Jessie Buckley probably gonna win.
Yeah, she's gonna. I'm pretty sure she's gonna win.
Yeah.
Chloe Zhao, I do not think is gonna win again, but that would be
Yeah,
kind of insane.
I don't think so. Yeah, Jessie Buckley is a minus 1,500 favorite right now. And second is Rose Byrne, and she's a plus 850. So yeah, Jessie Buckley is basically a lock.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to what is my favorite movie of the year, Marty Supreme. I don't have orange, but yeah, the
That's not Marty Supreme Orange.
yeah. Um, but I'm gonna say right now, I don't think this movie is winning Best Picture.
Yeah.
But man, this was easily my favorite movie of the nominees and my favorite movie of the year. It was just I talked about experience, like the experience that Frankenstein gave me, the experience that F1 gave me, and I think when it comes to just a pure visceral experience, I think Marty Supreme was the best. I don't know if it's the best experience in terms of feeling good, but I guess it is the most immersive experience I've had in a movie for this entire year because damn, this movie is stressful and
Yeah.
I was just locked in.
Yeah. I was at the edge of my seat throughout. I remember you texted me right after you watched the movie and you were like, yeah, this is my favorite film of the year.
Mhm.
Uh, it was I also watched it pretty recently. I think in the last month is when I finally got to watch it. Um, it was, I think everything worked for me other than the ending. Uh, in the whole film. Like I was disappointed by the end because um I don't know, I hated him so much. And I know that like technically he didn't get a happy ending, but I just don't think his ending was sad enough. Like
Mhm.
I think she should have just left him. But that's just like a personal opinion. Like in terms of a narrative, it works and everything. But if I'm just being like selfish and indulgent here, I think like I don't know, he should have just come back and like nobody he knows like wants to even talk to him. I think that would have been the ideal way for
Mhm.
it to end. But I was blown away by Timothy Chalamet's performance.
Oh yeah.
It was just like it was I didn't see the actor anymore at all. Like it was just so well done. I do have one question. Do you guys think that they reused some of the table tennis like because it was a lot of fast cuts, right? Like during the matches. I feel like they reused a couple of shots within the same scene, like the back and forth, because they just started feeling a little familiar after a point. Like the shots started feeling a little familiar. Did that bump for you at all? Did you notice it?
It's possible, but I didn't
Right.
notice it.
Yeah.
Listen,
Okay.
I have a terrible attention span. Watching the ping pong go back and
Yeah.
forth, like I like kept blinking every time they did it. So like I don't know, that probably did cut back and forth, but I didn't see it. Um, all I know is that Timothy Chalamet uh, may win Best Actor. It seems like he's. I feel like I would have the most confidence in him
Mhm.
if he did not just lose the BAFTA.
Okay, but
But
the guy he lost to is not even nominated.
Yeah.
right. Like it really doesn't. The thing is with Timothy this year is that I don't think that his competition is as strong as it was when he was nominated for Bob Dylan, the Bob Dylan biopic. I forget what his name
I forgot
was.
he got nominated for that. Um,
I think it
I
was
was
like last year, a complete
yeah,
unknown. That's it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna mention Call Me by Your Name because he got nominated for that too.
he did get nominated for that too. That was also, I think, a competitive year.
Hmm.
Um, but this year, like, it's mostly people who've already been nominated before, and Wagner Mora, I think, is probably number two. Um,
It's Leo,
Michael,
right? Leo is number 2.
I guess so, but like, why do we need to give Leonardo DiCaprio an Oscar? Like, we don't need to do that. Like, it's fine. It's been done. We don't need to give it to him.
Mm.
I like how passionately you're just like, yeah, like he doesn't deserve it. Like I don't want this man to win.
I'm not
Um,
saying he doesn't deserve it, but I just would be like annoyed. I'm like, why? Like, you don't need to do that. He already shouldn't have won for The Revenant. He should have won like three other times before that. So can we just accept the Oscar that he has?
yeah, I see. Well, in the lead, what is it like? It's
Lead
leading,
actor.
right? Is it leading
We-
actor, lead
Yeah.
actor? Yeah, in the leading role, I think it should. Okay, we'll probably talk about this a little later as well, but I think Sinners was the best movie of the year, and I think Michael B. Jordan should get it, um, purely because that movie like moved me so much. Um, so I mean, yeah, like Timothy Chalamet was absolutely excellent, but if I'm just like if I were gonna do the vote, it would go to Michael B. Jordan.
He
If you
would
were to
be
give
my
him the
second
win,
choice.
if you were to give him the win, would you give it for Smoke or Stack?
I feel like you asked me this question before, and I didn't have an answer then. I don't have an answer now.
No,
But
but my favorite thing is the memes that I've seen of like Sinners 2, and there's like one with like green and one with like yellow hats, and like it's like there's four of them.
I've
Uh,
seen that like with Mario. It's Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, but it's all Michael B. Jordan.
mm. He would
yeah,
be a great pick. I just don't think he has the same steam.
yeah,
Which is not meant to be a pun because I think that's one of the joke names for the guys with the hats. Um, but yeah, I would like. I mean, Michael B. Jordan would be my second best pick after Timothy, but I think that he
I
deserves
agree.
it.
Hmm.
It's just he does it so well, and
Yeah.
the entire cast is. Sorry to go on a tangent. I think the cast is so great that this whole new category of casting, this is
yeah,
where I think Marty Supreme should also win. I mean, it's
yeah,
such a unique cast compared to everything else.
yeah,
That's a good point because I've been like, Sinners is gonna win. Sinners should win best
yeah,
casting. But then I also think about Marty Supreme. It's maybe Sinners is the best cast, but then Marty Supreme has a bunch
Kevin
of
O'Leary. I think,
non-actors.
yep,
Like,
Mhm.
yeah. I think getting Kevin O'Leary to be like the billionaire like asshole was so perfect.
mhm,
It was just, yeah, I was
yeah.
like, when I saw him, I like, he didn't even say a single word, and I was like, oh, I hate this guy. So
Yeah.
I think that was a great win for them.
And I mean, the guy who plays Marty's friend, Kevin, I showed you the video the other day. He got discovered from some random video that went viral where he's on the street after a Knicks game and he's just screaming about Trae Young, who's a player on the Hawks, and he's like, and I'm gonna leave this, whoever edits this episode, I'm gonna leave this up to you if you want to keep this part in. But he just goes, Trae Young, you're ugly. You look like my dad's dick. I've never seen my dad's dick, but I imagine it would look
He
like
looks
you.
like,
That is where this guy came from.
and some casting directors saw it and they were like, that's what I want in my film.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh, that's hilarious.
So yeah, maybe Marty Supreme for thinking outside the box, but then still getting these
Yeah.
great performances. Maybe it does deserve best casting.
And
Yeah.
like very, very underrated people, Abel Ferrara
Mhm.
and Penn Jillette and Fran Drescher. I didn't even recognize any of them, and I know them all. And I'm like, I watched the movie again. I'm like, wait, that's who that was? I'm like, it blew my mind. It's just that, I mean, that's their trick. I mean, they did that with Sandler. They did that
Mhm.
with uh Robert Pattinson even then, because in Good Time, because a lot of people were like not taking him seriously because
Oh
of
yeah.
Twilight. So yeah.
I
Mhm.
feel like if anything, people should take him more seriously because of Twilight. But that's just me. Uh, anyway, um, but no, I think Marty Supreme in the casting category makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I don't know if it will win. I believe Sinners is yeah, Sinners is actually the front runner. Marty Supreme is actually number 4 if you look at the betting odds. It goes Sinners, One Battle, The Secret Agent, and then Marty Supreme. Um,
Mhm.
but and I was leaning towards Sinners, but now after having this discussion, I honestly think Marty Supreme should
Mhm.
get that. But in terms of actor, I think yeah, I think Chalamet is going to get it. He is the current front runner. He's not a huge favorite the way that Jesse Buckley is. But he has a pretty significant lead over Leo, and then Michael B. Jordan um is a
Mhm.
distant third.
Yeah, that's disappointing, but okay.
I mean,
Um,
I'm voting for Chalamet if I get a
Yeah.
vote. So
Same.
I think now it's time for a contender. I would say probably even the favorite to win. One battle after another.
Mhm.
Um,
One
it's an
Oscar after another.
yeah, yeah, one battle after another. It seems like it is the the favorite to win this. It has I mean that's it's been winning all the awards. It has the betting, like, Vegas has it as the favorite, minus 450 odds. I'm just gonna talk about this movie, like my experience with the movie real quick.
Mhm.
It reminds me of Dune, because again, same thing I said for Bohemian Rhapsody and Hamnet. Hear me out. Um, but when I watch Dune, I like I am in awe of it, and I think everything about the movie is great. The acting, cinematography, screenplay, how whatever you want to talk about. I think it's awesome. For some reason, I just didn't get that experience watching it. Like the experience did not hit me as much as the appreciation did. And I feel the same way about One Battle. I appreciate this movie more than I actually enjoyed the experience of watching it.
I know exactly what you mean, except I'm gonna disagree. It doesn't feel like Dune to me because I didn't like Dune at all, and I actually quite like One Battle After Another. Um, I thought I'll tell you what I think. One Battle After Another started off a little too slow for my liking. But once I think the last about like the last 45 minutes just completely redeemed the film for me. Um, just the level of like anxiety it gave me, um, it was incredible. And I will say that there was that scene about the riots, and there's a part of that sequence where they show how the cops kind of instigated,
Mhm.
and especially after all the conversations that are happening in the world, after the LA protests, like placing the movie with all of that context, it was extremely strong.
Mhm.
And also, like, I thought Sean Penn like completely killed it in this film. I hated him so much, and I just the way his character moved and the way like things ended for him, I was blown away by the film. Um, I thought DiCaprio's performance was extremely uncomfortable. Like I didn't like how they were just close on his face and he just like kept doing that thing with his mouth. And it just I didn't like it was I wanted to shut my eyes, which I guess makes them successful actors and successful filmmakers and all of that. But if we're just talking about the experience of watching it, I was just like just pull away from him. Like I don't want to see his face that close. But overall, I did really like the film. Do I want it to win? No, I think I want Sinners to win. Uh, and that's really like personally, I just enjoyed Sinners more.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm super torn because I really do like. I think maybe in this moment, I don't know where I put One Battle and Sinners. I know I like Marty Supreme more, but I do feel like there's like a victory in any of these three winning films winning for me. One Battle does feel kind of like a Paul Thomas Anderson like consolation Oscar
Mhm.
with the added benefit of it being a good movie. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like I'm cool with it winning if it does. Um, I I still think this movie's super cool. I loved that random SNL skit that came out recently with like the one battle after another like action figures. It's a really funny skit if you have not seen it. Um, but it is like all sorts of messed up in the episode. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I think it would be a good winner. It's just it's been sweeping, so maybe you know that's just a testament to how many battles it's taking in these uh award ceremonies. Stop laughing at me and my puns. I see it on your faces.
Well, didn't you make it as a joke?
I did. Like,
I mean, there is the question of are we laughing with you or at you, but that's not like I don't think we should
yeah, I
dive
think
into
you're laughing at me. You're like, oh, it's too corny. It's too corny.
No, it's just everybody that the one award after another. It's everywhere. Everybody keeps saying
Oh
it.
yeah.
It's just it's funny. Um, but go on, Rohan.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, and we'll get into Sinners later. If I was voting, I would vote for Sinners, even though Marty Supreme is my personal favorite movie. I think Sinners is the movie I vote for. But yeah, I do feel that One Battle is gonna win it. I also do think there is a possibility we get um a win for Sinners, but then Paul Thomas Anderson wins Best Director. Because I mean he is a huge favorite for that category, and he also did win um, the DGA, which
Yeah.
usually if you win the DGA, you're also winning um,
The
Best
Oscar.
Director at the Oscars. But there was one guy relatively recently, who won the DGA, and this is some trivia. Uh, which director won the DGA for Best Director, but then did not even get nominated for the Oscar?
Was it recent?
Within how long ago?
Yeah.
Don't remember the exact year, but this century for sure. So 2000s and beyond.
Okay. This century. Okay. Huh. I mean, obviously it was a snub.
Oh yeah, it was a massive
Yeah.
snub.
And it was a man.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
it could have
I
been Nolan. I
no, it
mean,
was not Nolan. He won Best Director at the Oscars.
no, I know, but I thought that it could have been like a previous year.
No, I think there's been times where he got nominated for the DGA, but then didn't get nominated for the Oscars. But I'm talking about winning DGA and not
Winning
getting
DJ,
nominated.
Huh.
not getting nominated at all at any
Yeah,
I don't
point.
know.
I'm not sure.
it's Ben Affleck actually for Argo.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
Oh,
I mean, I know a lot of people don't love Argo, but I mean, he
Mhm.
won Best Director at DGA. The movie he made won Best Picture, but he did not get a nomination. I think that is wild.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I have a question here. You guys are both writers. You both also have directed. So if you were in the Oscars, like if your film was a contender and like, would you prefer that it won Best Picture or would you prefer that you won like Best Screenplay or like Best Director?
Oh, Best Picture.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, best picture. I mean, I think best director is not a bad nomination either to win, but yeah. Oh God, people say.
Yeah, Best Picture. I mean, that's just kind of the grand
Yeah.
prize. If I compare it to like sports, it would be like winning MVP for that year, but then not winning the championship. Which one would I rather have? I would rather have the championship.
Championship. Right. Yeah. No, because I think at some point, Kevin, you said that it's just going to be a PTA token. I mean, sorry, it's going to be a PTA token win. So that's where that question came from.
Right. Yeah.
All right. What is next on the list?
All right.
so-
Next
Yeah.
up is The Secret Agent. It's a Brazilian movie. I have seen this movie. Have either of you seen it?
I haven't, but I do know that that's the film with Wagner Moura, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I have watched him in Narcos, and I thought it was really good.
I have not seen Narcos. I think he was good in this movie. Of course, I was not a big fan of the movie.
Mhm.
I think thematically it's important, but I feel like that's all I can say about this movie. I don't think I found this movie. It was kind of a chore to watch, honestly.
Mhm.
Uh, it just didn't click for me. Maybe it's I'm not familiar with the culture, or whatever. Maybe that's why. But I felt like for big chunks of the movie, uh, the story wasn't building. We are seeing moments, like we're seeing the theme because it's all about corruption, and we're seeing moments and examples of that kind of demonstrated. But I don't think that we saw a story like that was like building and being told.
Got it.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I haven't seen it. Which really the only thing that I have to say of note regarding this is its nomination in international feature, because I really like that the Academy is starting to include more international features in its Best Picture lineup. Because usually often like I actually find some of the international films like a little bit better than some of the things that are even nominated in Best Picture, that are not international. And this year they put 2. I mentioned earlier there was a chance at 3 with it was just an accident. But that being said, I'm still really mad that No Other Choice did not get nominated. So I am salty because I feel like that movie would be an awesome pick for that category.
Yeah, I just think
So
Park Chan-wook probably burned a lot of bridges with with the WGA strikes.
yeah,
So for some, like, I know what happened, but was he based out of the US when he was writing during the strikes?
So he had a show on HBO,
Right.
and I believe that I don't think it's him writing No Other Choice. That's different. That's just him writing on his own. But I think he was writing specifically. They didn't say which project it was for, but it was probably the HBO one because that's one of the companies that the Writers
Yeah.
Guild was striking against. So
Mhm. Okay. I mean, I guess my question was he working out of the US when that was happening, or did they find a loophole and, you know?
it was just that it was a U.S. production, so you had to be registered with the
Got it.
WGA.
Mhm.
It was for The Sympathizer, right? I'm pretty sure that was the
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
or the show. Yeah, so he was writing for The Sympathizer, and since it's an American production, and there was a strike going on, he got banned from it, and so people are basically saying like he didn't make it in because he got banned from it. I would argue though that Decision to Leave was incredibly successful as well, and this was before he got kicked out of the WGA.
Yeah.
I do think No Other Choice has a bit more popularity than Decision to Leave, but that
Mhm.
movie was like consistently predicted number like 2 or 3, and then it
Yeah.
didn't get in anywhere in the precursor, and then it just got shut out. So I think that maybe this might sound silly, but I think Park Chan-wook might just not care if he's in the Oscars or not. But I don't
Well,
know.
might
I
not.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, clearly didn't care enough to, break the rules of the WGA. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess if you were to look at it from the context of the rest of the world, Hollywood is a really small town. So maybe he was just like, I don't really like need that, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think there's a very good chance he gets nominated in the future. But I think literally last year was when he got kicked out of the WGA, and that was the same year that No Other Choice came out.
Right, right, right.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Um, all right, shall we anything else on Secret Agent?
Mhm.
All right. The other movie nominated for Best International and Best Picture, Sentimental Value. Um, yeah, I know, Kevin, you did see this movie and you liked it quite a bit, so I'm gonna let you lead this discussion.
Yeah, Sentimental Value is great. It does break into my top 10. Rip the Ugly Stepsister. You will be missed from my top 10 list, but it's okay. But I do think Sentimental Value is really funny, really touching. Really, it has a great um cast, which feels when you kind of like look at it on paper, it's kind of a random cast because it's like I've never heard of Inga Ipsdottir Lilius, but now I want to like see her in everything now. And Renee Reinsva is also great. I mean, she's been in a different Joachim Trier movie. Um, and she's excellent. I feel like that's the standout element of Sentimental Value. So I'm kind of hoping that they somehow sneak in an acting win. But I'm
Mhm.
worried that it's falling into like second and third place in every category.
Yeah, I mean, I think Skarsgård has the highest chance of getting a nomination
Hmm.
or getting the win. He is currently listed the as second place for supporting actor behind Sean Penn. Of course, this does have the number one odds to win Best International, but it's a pretty tight race between it and Secret Agent. So, but I also saw this movie and I liked it quite a bit. Um, it reminded me a lot of there's another movie called Jay Kelly on Netflix starring George Clooney, and I think Sentimental Value was very similar to Jay Kelly, but I think I liked Sentimental Value a little bit more.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't get a release here. I think so. Usually, what happens is when award season starts, they'll do like a short run for a bunch of international films here. That's how Begonia was released. I think
Mhm.
they might. I feel like they might do a couple of shows for Hamnet. I don't think they'll do any for Sentimental Value because I haven't seen like any promotional material from it at all.
Mhm.
But I mean, when I get to catch it, I guess I'll have an opinion then.
It
Hmm.
is on digital. I don't
Okay,
believe it's on a streaming service. But
got it, got it.
it's digital,
Like,
like on demand.
got it. Yeah, then I might just catch it because I'm just realizing, like, I just realized over the past like 6 months that several movies don't make it out here.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
it's international distribution is very different than what I remembered.
Yeah.
I actually had a question about that. Is um like, I mean, you kind of answered it with like distribution, but I would think that some American like really like popular trending movies, I feel like Sinners,
Yeah.
would that not do really well in India? I feel like it probably has the best chance of all of these movies.
Yeah, and Sinners got a release here. And they're doing a re-release this week for which I'm going. But it's very it's like this. It's like it would have to the team that makes it would have to have enough, I'm gonna say clout, to broker a good
Hmm.
like international distribution deal. The names have to be well known. Like I think Michael B. Jordan did that for Sinners. Like more than I really don't think it's about the content. Um,
Hmm.
I think it's much more about like who's going to bring a crowd in.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I think that's why like I think that's why like we see so few international movies like come out here because honestly like I feel like several of these films like probably have like I don't see the appeal for an Indian crowd. Like
Right.
it's like
Hmm.
not only are the themes not super relevant, but also the syntax of it is so different than what like you would watch here for entertainment. So like I just feel like that they're different film languages if you really think about it.
Yeah. Hmm.
So like it's like I understand why they don't get distribution. I wish they did. I think the more people watch, the better it is.
Right.
Um, so yeah, so I think the best bet for films like this to get seen globally is if they do well in the award season. Usually, like most like theater chains will do like 1 week of like, hey, like we're putting out shows for all the nominees, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I disagree, Kevin. I think Sinners would not be the biggest movie in India. It would be F1 probably.
Yeah.
Uh,
After I said that, I did consider F1. Yeah, that does
I'm
make
sure you just
sense.
forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it does have Brad Pitt, and it's just like, and it's also
The
super
action.
long
Yeah.
too, tons of action.
Hmm.
I was just thinking because Sinners, while it is a great horror movie, I also see the action in it.
Yeah.
So I was like thinking like,
Mhm.
oh, like I think it might do well. One Battle would probably be my number three there because I
Actually,
think
One
Marty
that.
Battle I think was
Supreme,
pretty popular here.
maybe.
Marty
Mhm.
Supreme 2 was pretty popular here, but I think out of all of them, and this is just me like making an assumption based on conversation. Like I know that people really really like One Battle, like that was a big like crowd pleaser. Sinners, I don't think as many people watched it. Like I think DiCaprio is just a bigger name than like Michael B. Jordan, and that's what made the difference in the end.
Yeah. Um, all right. Moving on to what movie would get my vote. And the movie that I think is probably gonna be runner up, unfortunately, is Sinners. So yeah, Sinners was one of the best movies of the year, and I think it would get my vote because I think it, while I didn't necessarily have that visceral experience the way I did with Marty Supreme, it it was right up there, and it was, and I think I was able. I think Sinners is the one movie where I had the experience. The experience of watching it was awesome. Just the I felt really immersed in this world. Uh, and at the same time, I also appreciated every aspect of it the way I did with One Battle. Um, so yeah, Sinners is the movie that I would like to see you win.
Um, I think I think I reflect your sentiments, but it's the exact opposite. Like I like Sinners gave me the visceral experience that Marty Supreme didn't. Um, it was I was just blown away by the film. Like it's I have so much to say because I feel like if we break it down like technically, I think everything was extremely well executed. I thought the narrative worked for me, but more important than that, I thought the horror was the it was scary, but it was not scary because they're vampires. I
Hmm.
thought the thematic horror behind the story was terrifying. And then at the very end, when they revealed that it's a slaughterhouse, like I was like, I don't know, like it was I didn't see that coming. It was extreme. It was an incredible scene. I thought the performances were out of this world. Like, I think in every category that the film got nominated, it should win. Um, it was, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Um, I'm glad that it's getting all the like eyeballs on it, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, this movie got the most nominations, I think, for a reason.
Yeah,
Most nominations in
Is
history, not just this year.
yeah.
hmm
hmm
it's
Uh,
it's really impressive. It also speaks to just like they had just such a big like such depth that they were able to get all these nominations. But like when you really put it together, like it just fits and so it fits so nicely into so many categories because it's a period piece, because it has the stacked cast, because it is well written and well directed, and since it's a monster movie, it gets the hair and makeup and costume stuff. Like
Mhm.
it's just able to get so many things
mhm.
all in one go. I think a lot of those tech categories are probably gonna go to Sinners. I think it might win the most Oscars. The biggest question would be behind maybe One Battle. I'm not sure. One Battle might get. It's between those two for getting the most. But I think that one of the biggest questions is if um Wunmi uh Misaku could beat Tiana Taylor, which I think that could happen
Yeah,
potentially.
I was gonna mention her also. She is the favorite, Tiana Taylor for One Battle, but it's pretty slim. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Um, I as much I actually think that I think One Battle is going to win in this it's going to win Best Picture. I don't
Hmm.
want it to. I want like my vote would be for Sinners.
Yeah,
But if
I
we're being
agree.
realistic, then yeah, I think it's going to be One Battle.
Yeah, I think, but again, still think Sinners. I don't think this movie is gonna walk away
Yeah,
empty-handed. I
yeah,
think
I
there's
agree with
there's
that.
too many awards that it's been nominated for.
Mhm.
Um, and I have seen some discourse saying, "Oh, well, it only broke the record because they added a category of best casting, which wasn't there before." And while true, they also taken away categories. Sound used to be two categories. It was mixing and sound editing, and now it's just best sound. So in
Yeah,
my book, there's no asterisk there.
yeah. Just give it the credit it deserves. Like it's an excellent film. Like what is
Mhm.
this? Like what is this? I don't know. Like just give it the credit to like they worked hard. They made a good movie. They got
Mhm.
nominations. Like why is that hard to admit?
There's a lot of mental gymnastics people will go to
Hmm
do that. And what's funny is they probably are not even paying attention to the fact that one battle after another is sweeping anyway, like the award season.
Oh
Like
yeah.
every
Mhm.
year, it's the same freaking story. Everyone's always like, I don't really like these nominations. And then the winner wins, and they go, that should have won. Everyone's ridiculous. Who even watches this award ceremony anymore? Everyone's out of touch. It's just every year. It's the same
Yeah.
people. Just ignore them. They're
Mhm.
it's not worth it anymore.
Yeah. I
Um,
know there's been a lot of discourse on, oh hey, Oscars numbers declining, which technically true, with the exception of last year, it actually ticked up. Uh, but in the US, Oscars is still the second most watched televised event after the Super Bowl. So sure, they're declining, but it's
hmm
still
mhm.
it's still up there.
Yeah, but they're gonna get him this year when they bring out Conan O'Brien and he has this like golden labubu with an Oscar statue, and they're gonna go viral on Pop Crave. Like that's how it's
I'm
gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm actually not mad that it's going to be Conan O'Brien this year. I'm actually like curious to see what he does with it.
Well, it was
Mhm.
him last year too, right?
Was it? Was it not Jimmy Kimmel? Because I
I
feel like
Was
he's
it
believe
Conan?
been doing it for a
I believe it
while.
was Conan.
It was Conan?
It was Conan
Oh,
Yeah.
last year.
then I guess I didn't care enough to watch it last year. So,
Kimmel was the year before.
Mhm.
And he'd been doing like a bunch of years in a row.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, I also feel like with Kimmel hosting, there's a pulse to his jokes, and I feel like understand it, so you can almost predict like where it's going.
Mhm.
I disagree. I don't think they have a pulse because they suck and they're dead. I hate Jimmy Kimmel as a host. I'm sorry. I feel bad that he got fired temporarily, but he just is a really bad Oscar host.
You
Yeah,
should go to
I will say I forgot who it was. I think it was an interview with Neil Patrick Harris, who I don't think his hosting job was the best, but he was talking about how the Oscars are so difficult to host because they are the very last ones. And he's like, I would come up with all these bits and all these jokes, and then he's like, I'm watching the Golden Globes, and he's like, ah shit, they took my joke.
Yeah.
So he's like, I gotta change it. And then so
yeah.
so yeah, it's not a job that I necessarily envy.
Yeah, you Kevin, I was gonna say you should go to one of like Jimmy Kimmel's tapings. They do it in Hollywood. Uh, it's an interesting experience.
Why would I do that? I just said it. I didn't like it.
Well, he is kind of hot in person, just saying. Like that's what like I didn't expect to feel that way. I told you I didn't expect to feel that way. Like I didn't think he was hot when I saw him on screen, but
Right.
when I saw him in
We can
person,
move on. We can move on.
All right. Anything more to say about Sinners?
I mean, there's a lot to say, but I think we should
Yeah.
move forward.
We've
Yeah.
said so much already in our review and our top
Right.
10. So if you want to
Mhm.
see more, check out those videos.
Mhm.
All right. Finally, we have Train Dreams. Another Netflix movie, actually. And I have seen this movie. I I'm not a big fan of this movie, if I'm being honest.
You know why they call it Train Dreams? Because I was sleeping on the whole movie. No, I'm kidding. It was good. We actually watched it in film club for our movies of 2025 that we didn't see. Or I think it may have just been a spontaneous watch party. I don't know. But I just did not. I don't know. I thought it looked very good, and it seems like cinematography. This movie's got a really strong chance in that
Mhm.
category. Um, it wouldn't be undeserved, but I just didn't find it to be that groundbreaking. If I were to pick cinematography in that category, I would go with Darius Kanji for Marty Supreme because there's a lot more technical things you need to do with the table tennis
Yeah.
filming scenes. And Train Dreams just feels like my Instagram filter was really, really good, and Netflix picked up my movie, and that's how Train Dreams looks to me. So, sorry
Yeah.
for the negativity on that movie. It's perfectly fine, but I don't really think it should have gotten an Oscar nomination.
Yeah, Train Dreams is I mean, I don't think there's any chance it wins Best Picture. Cinematography is the only thing that I feel like it does have a chance for. It's currently, if you look at the odds, it's currently ranked number 3 after One Battle and Sinners. Interestingly enough, Marty Supreme is dead last in that category.
I was gonna say for cinematography, right?
Yeah,
I was gonna say Frankenstein did Frankenstein not get
Frankenstein is ranked 4.
Got it. I like the cinematography a lot in Frankenstein. It felt very
I did too. Yeah.
like the frames felt very much like paintings, which I think served the world of it really well.
Mhm. Yeah.
Isn't
I have
Sinners gonna win this?
Sinners and One Battle are in a very tight race. One Battle
cinematography.
is the favorite, but I think Sinners was better. And in my mind, it's not close.
I don't
In your
know
mind,
about
it's
that
not
one.
close, meaning you think One Battle was way better than Sinners?
No, I'm saying Sinners is better.
Good.
I don't know, guys. I kind of like the one battle after another cinematography.
The
I don't
the extreme
know.
close-ups of his
I mean, it was
front
good.
face.
I
I
just think
think
Sinners is way better.
okay. I think the thing is, one battle has the advantage of the landscapes.
Yeah.
Sinners is mostly technical with its camera work. I mean, it's got that really great long, like long tracking shot. Like it's a one shot. It's a pretty good moment. I would rather it win than Train Dreams. If that makes sense. So, yeah.
Okay, and that is all 10 of the movies. Let's go. So real quick, I know we kind of talked about it, but before we move on to screenplay, I want from both of you um three things, I guess, three questions. Which one do you think will win? Which one do you think should win? And which one is your personal favorite?
Mm. Okay. I think one battle will win. I think it's interesting that you said
It can
should
be the
win.
same movie. It
Yeah.
also, like, if
No, but
your
that's
personal favorite is also your should win, that
yeah,
counts.
but that's the thing though. Like, am I being objective when I say should win? I don't know because I mean, my personal favorite was Sinners. Now do I think Sinners should win? Yeah, I think so. I mean, but obviously it's coming from bias. I think that's why it took me a second to like give you that. But yeah, basically I think one battle is going to win. I think it should be Sinners. I would vote for Sinners.
I would vote for Marty Supreme to win. I think one battle after another will win. Should win, like which should win despite my vote. I mean, I feel like, I mean, if I'm just picking, I feel like I would just stick with one battle. I do think that one battle after another is a pretty gargantuan movie, like in scope and also thematically, like what it is about is currently more politically like relevant and also like just like worldly relevant. I feel like that movie could change a lot of like minds, like if seen by the right people. And I also think that it's just it is about time that Paul Thomas Anderson gets his flowers from the Academy. So
Right.
yeah, that would be my answers.
Yeah. So I think one battle will win. What should win, like if I was a voter, the movie that I would vote for is Sinners. For me, I think that is kind of the best movie of the year. But then my favorite, just me personally, is Marty Supreme.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I figured that's where that was going.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens.
All right. Now time for screenplay. We want to do adapted first, or we want to do original?
So adapted.
All right. All right. Same thing for adapted screenplay. We talked about. I'm just going to list all of them because we kind of talked about all of these movies before. Begonia, uh, yeah, by Will Tracy, Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro, Hamnet by Chloe Zhao, and is it?
Maggie
I'm
O'Farrell.
not sure. Maggie O'Farrell.
Mhm.
One Battle by Paul Thomas Anderson, and Train Dreams by Clint Bentley and Greg
Widar.
Kuidar. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I butchered any of those names, I apologize.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, we kind of talked about this. I guess we can do a real quick, like, hey, what do you think is gonna win? And what do you think was the best screenplay?
Mhm. I want to do the same thing we did before. Like I want, if I were voting, I would like to vote like like be even spread. So I would give Begonia my vote because I think having seen Save the Green Planet, um, and I think I'm not familiar with the book on One Battle After Another or Train Dreams. Everyone knows Frankenstein,
Yeah.
Hamnet. You kind of get the Shakespearean stuff, but I have like a really deep connection with Save the Green Planet. You know, having seen it like a couple months ago. But I think it's a really good adaptation, so I would vote for it. I think One Battle After Another will win. And I think should win, I guess.
I would say that I think Begonia should win, and I actually think Begonia might win. Because in terms of screenplay, I just thought it was more interesting than One Battle After Another or even Frankenstein, because Frankenstein, I was not a fan of the screenplay.
Hmm.
I think the reason that the screenplay worked was because everything that came after it was very well done. But in something like Begonia, I feel like so much like, because in concept it's not super complicated, right?
Hmm.
It's I think it required more skill to um make that screenplay like it in my view, I think it in just terms of pure skill, it takes more for a film like Begonia to
Yeah.
work than One Battle After Another or like Frankenstein.
At least
So
from a
that's
screenplay perspective, right?
yeah,
No,
yeah,
yes.
that's
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I just
I
think it's
think
more complicated screenplay to crack.
I think Begonia fails if it doesn't get its main dialogue
Exactly.
Yeah.
correctly.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Precisely. Yeah, that's
And
what I was trying to say. Yeah.
yeah, that is why it's also like my favorite. And if I were a member of the Academy, I would vote for Begonia. But I think One Battle is going to win it.
Mhm.
It is also the favorite by pretty
A
large
lot.
margin.
Yeah. And what are the others? Just go over the favorites. How are they
So the
ranked right
ranking is a One Battle and then Hamnet and
now? Okay.
then Train Dreams, interestingly,
Hmm.
and then Begonia and then Frankenstein.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah. And I'm using FanDuel for the odds because these are the betting odds. It might be different. I know Kevin, you use Gold Derby. I'm just using the betting odds.
Yeah. Makes
Uh,
sense.
yeah. And all right, so original
Adapted.
screenplay time.
Or original, yeah.
All right. Blue Moon by Robert Kaplow. It was just an accident. Oh God, there's a lot of names, and I think I'm gonna butcher them all. But primarily Jafar Panahi, and then I'm not gonna read all the collaborators because he's getting the main credit. Marty
Right.
Supreme, huh?
Huh. No, no, go on, go on.
Marty Supreme by Ronald uh, Bronstein and Josh Safdie. Sentiment, Sentimental Value by Eskil Boat, I'm gonna say, and Joachim Trier, and Sinners by Ryan Coogler.
Yeah. I wonder how that's interesting that there's like a script collaborators like credit that's being recognized at the account. Like that's
Yeah.
interesting. Because I mean, I would imagine
Yeah.
it just goes to the one person that has like the writing credit. No.
Mhm.
So I think part of that is, and I haven't seen the movie, but I think that there is to some extent some ad lib in the movie. Because that is something that Jafar Panahi is like he does. Like he makes like really documentary like movies. I didn't get to see this one, but I did see Taxi, and it's a really good movie. And it felt just like watching like a documentary, but it was
Got it.
scripted. I think it was written by his like daughter too. Like something about that rings a bell to me. But yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, out of these nominations, I've only seen Marty Supreme and Sinners. And I mean, I think we all know how I feel about Sinners at this point.
Hmm.
I thought it was such a well-written film. I think the film wins in the places that it completely subverts expectations, uh, at an execution level, but also at a screenplay level. Like I think one of the most effective beats I've seen in a film in a long time is when the vampires start praying with these guys. Like to me, that was such a like that just formed such a pit in my stomach because you assume, I mean, that they talk a lot about religion, and you assume that in films like this, like very often religion is kind of what will come and save you at the end. Like you expect the faith to kind of protect them. So when the monsters were also praying, I was like they just elevated the danger so much in just that one moment. So and I think that obviously was a screenplay level decision. I was like very impressed by it.
Um, I will just agree with you. I actually think that Sinners would be my vote here. And what I think will win, I mean, it's probably the strongest category it has. Ryan Coogler had a really great vision for this movie. It was great actually talking about it. Like knowing that we had like a classmate who wrote like a very similar story in NIFA. So I was like, oh my gosh, like it was just really cool to see like a story like this kind of come to life and see what it's like in practice. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool. So yeah, that would be my pick here.
Yeah. I think Sinners will win. It is also a favorite by quite a lot. And I would personally vote for Marty Supreme. Similar reason why Begonia, because I think there is a lot where I think Sinners has a lot going for it as a whole. Well, I think Marty Supreme, it hinges on
Yeah.
two things, which is Chalamet's performance, of course, and then the dialogue. I feel if those two things don't work, the movie really falls apart.
Yeah,
Mhm.
in Marty Supreme, there's that one scene when they get shot. They go back to that dude's house to
Oh
get
yeah,
shot. And then she says, "Go take the money." Like uh, it's in his like shirt or whatever. That character choice they made, I was just like, what on earth? And then he doesn't even say he loves her when she's being wheeled into like the labor ward, and I was just like, yeah, no, the movie like definitely brought out some very strong reactions from me. So I guess that means that it like succeeds at every level, you know.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. But damn. All right. So I guess yeah, if I was gonna vote, I would say Sinners. I think Sinners should win. I think Sinners will win. We'll see how it goes. Okay.
All right. I know it's been a very long episode, but
Yeah.
before we sign off, is there anything else you guys want to bring up regarding the Oscars?
I was gonna ask what you guys think was the biggest snub, what should have been in Best Picture or any category that you think some
Mm.
someone should have been in for.
For me,
I have
sorry, baby. Um, I think it should have gotten a screenplay nomination. I watched this very recently. I had not seen it when we did our top 10. But if I had, I think it would have cracked my top 10.
Hmm. That's interesting. I'm just looking at what people are saying online for like the biggest snubs. And the first thing that pops up is Wicked for Good. People are saying was a snub. Did you guys catch the movie?
I
I
did.
just
I did
You
not.
did? Okay. I didn't even like the first one. What did you think of the second one?
I kind of like it more than the
Okay.
first one but I don't like the first one.
Okay.
So maybe it's like just by virtue of doing something very different, I
Yeah.
liked it more. It plays out like a political thriller, which is interesting. Um, but no, I I don't think that I don't I think maybe the only movie I would take out is
Hmm.
Train Dreams.
Mm.
Um,
Right.
or the first movie I would take out were to be Train Dreams, but I think there are plenty of other movies that I would replace before getting to Wicked for Good.
Mhm.
Got it. Yeah, no, that seems to be the predominant conversation online. Major snubs included Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, and Paul Mescal for Hamnet. Uh, Interesting. I
You
don't
still
think
didn't
I don't
answer
know.
what you wanted.
I
I know.
it's well, the thing is, I feel like the ones that I cared for this year did make it on the list.
Mhm.
In terms of snubs, like my answers are going to be international films, and they don't include international films anyway. So it's like it's
That's
I don't know
fair.
how
I
much.
mean,
Yeah,
my biggest snub is the international film and no other choice.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
if I did have to pick another, I would say I would have liked to see weapons get in more categories than just
Right.
um best supporting actress, which Amy Madigan would be a cool winner for that too. I think it's like a really close race. Um
Mhm.
that one. But for me, I think it would have been cool to get a screenplay nom. I mean, this is the script that Jordan Peele got so mad he fired his agent over not getting. I think that's a sign of that should get an Oscar just for that. That the fact
Yeah.
that it did that. But alas, it only got one nomination. I think it should have been in like makeup and screenplay, maybe even picture over Train Dreams, or
Yeah.
dare I say Hamnet? I'm sorry. It's okay.
What I'm hearing is you guys just don't want Train Dreams anywhere here. It's just
Yeah.
that's what I'm hearing. Okay.
I do have one sort of snub. It's not really a snub because it's not a category, but the Oscars did announce they're gonna add stunts. But I believe they're gonna add it next year. And I'm just like, really?
Mission Impossible.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you're gonna add stunts right after the Mission Impossible series ends, which
Yeah.
F1
Yeah.
would get nominated. Sinners would
Yeah.
probably also get nominated, but Mission Impossible would destroy
Yeah.
that award.
And-
So
And I think it should, because I mean they really went out of their way for that one.
mhm.
They do it for all of us. Yeah, no, I see the frustration for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it will come back somehow, just not with Tom Cruise, probably.
Yeah, but then unless you find another actor willing to do
Yeah.
that stuff.
Willing
It's
learn.
gonna be me, guys. It's gonna be me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do all those stunts.
Like, there's a reason Jeremy Renner was supposed to replace Tom Cruise in Mission
Mhm.
Impossible. Tom Cruise was going to leave after Ghost Protocol, and it was going to be Jeremy Renner. But then
Mhm.
the producers smartly recognized that, oh, you cannot do this franchise without Tom Cruise, because
Yeah.
he's the only one crazy enough to do all this stuff.
And I think that is a big part of the appeal of that, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's like knowing that he's actually doing it really adds to the adrenaline.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. We'll come back and talk about what happened after
Oh,
the
for
actual
sure.
Oscars happened. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this year goes.
Yeah.
Mhm, me too.
Get your bets on Calcium. Okay.
And Poly Market.
Yeah.
All
You know
right.
what? I am gonna bet that Conan O'Brien brings out like a golden Labubu on the stage. Something's gonna happen with the Labubu and 6-7 and all that other stuff. That's
Well,
gonna happen on the Oscars night, and we're gonna all cry in our
What
sleep.
color dildo is going to be thrown onto stage?
I feel like there's context I'm missing here, but okay. I don't know. I feel like when I'm thinking about like 6-7 and like Labubus and stuff like that, that's when I actually start to feel old, because I think 2 years ago I would have still like, maybe I don't like, I don't get, like, I don't like the meme culture around these specific things, but I would still get it. I'm just like, okay, I can see why this stuff is like viral right now. With Labubus, I don't get it. I'm just like, what about it is appealing? So yeah. Well, would you have Labubus, Kevin? Is that what this is?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
But I'm confident there will be one there.
Yeah.
I will put it on Calci. There's gonna be one there. And then when I don't actually do what I say I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be really mad because I would have predicted it.
I think the trend has actually died down now of the Labubus. But I think because it was still a thing last year, it's gonna be brought out.
Yeah, like heated rivalry. That's something's gonna happen. And it's not
Oh,
even
yeah.
like the Emmys. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode of Pages to Pixels. I'm Kevin, joined by Rohan and Kirtana, and we will see you guys next time when we cover the actual results of the Oscars and maybe a couple of other movies in between. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.